Holy shit, boys, you gotta see this thing. I've never seen anything like it. So I go out into the boonies, I drive up this driveway, there's no numbers on the mailbox. I thinking to myself, well, I think this might be the time that I'm murdered. The only real solace I had is that the person was from the next door at. So she says she's got a lawn tractor she wants work done. So I get there, and here's this glorious 1960s, I think, lawn tractor that's been sitting for 12 years. All right, here she is. It's a Gravely 816. So I checked for spark, which we do indeed have on both sides, which is good. I didn't really feel like having to deal with all that. Some kind of bush there. I don't think it's getting fuel though, so I'm gonna have to pull the carb off and clean the carb. I got my old car battery in there right now. Seems closer to the right size. I think the cold cranking that originally came in this was a 450. So that thing actually fits in there fairly good from the old car. All right. Let's get into her. How do we get you off, you little bitch? Oh, sorry. Oh, that just... Yeah. PCB. Or something like that. Okay, let me grab some pliers. Yeah. Yes. Oh my God. What a piece of shit. One-hander technique. Shut up, gentlemen. There we go. Oh, there is a thing on there. Let's get her. Hopefully this is the right size. Get her, hit her, quit her. Let's see how disgusting this is. Oh God, why is that so loose? Oh God, that hose is horrific. Who's news, my friend? Well, is that supposed to move? Oh God. Patter, patter, let's get at her. Oh God, that was horrific. Well, might as well just split the crap out of it. That was my plan anyway. Crusty. Can you see in there? Me either. Nope. We'll unhook these crapo cables. Take the old schmattery off. Oh God. Sure start. Yeah. Sure. What's this? Clamp tank. Alright. And the pitter patter, let's get at it. Oops, wrong way. Don't tell on me. Alright. Don't look too bad. Got another Jesus clip. Come on. Oh, fail. 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 Come on, Jeffrey. Oh, fail. Last fail. Fail. I feel it. Yeah. Oh, right. Nope. Come on, you beaver. God. There we go. Holy Jesus. Well, as you can see, the fuel was indeed coming through. It's indeed still coming through. So, yeah. Probably because it's being gravity fed now. Let's see if this cork stuff and fuel shut off works. Big old mess. I don't make stuff like they used to. I don't know what year it is. Haven't really looked it up, to be honest with you. So, 1750 or something, I think. Tank looks okay, but just want to clean it out. You know what I forgot to get? Gas. Dipshit. What the hell is that? Oh yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. That is, wow. That's the thing of beauty right there. That is beautiful. Let's get a flashamente. Have a look. Sure, it's horrific. Probably don't even want to know. I mean, it ain't great. Did you see it? Yeah, it's not great. But maybe we can pressure wash it or something. Get all the crap out of it. Pitter patter, let's get at her. That is right, that is right. Ugh. Alright, it's gonna blow. Run this in. See if we can find that crud that was in there. I'll set this out in the sun to dry, I guess, at this point. Most of the crap came out of the inside, so that's good. I'll blow through the fuel lines back to the carb, which I'm sure is going to need to be cleaned. Maybe we can just blow the fuel pump out, because I have no idea if you can get the seals for that thing anymore. I'm sure it's probably pretty difficult, so that's the game plan. Don't like it? Piss off. Gross. It's got spark. It's got oil. It's old oil, but it has oil. Definitely needs a change of oil. Okay, I need to go get some gas for this hog, and then we can go from there. Need some decent fuel to do some tests with, see if the fuel pump's working. I already checked for spark, in case you guys were wondering. It does have spark, so good to know if the bob for, I don't know. Good to know something. Good to know something if something, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm getting at. Something and something else, and yeah. The question is, does the fuel pump work? Question 7 is, if it doesn't work, is this tractor worth fixing? I don't know. Probably question 5 is, Does the thing even have any compression? Probably be the smart thing to find out right now. That way, if it doesn't, I can just tell the lady it's poo-poo, no fun for you, no pointy-ointy, you know. I just like to restate that, for the record, I tried to talk her out of fixing this. I told her, you're better off just go buy a new one, but they wanted to try and fix it, so here I am. Like the dummy that I am, trying to fix this old, gravely, mavely 10,000-year-old tractor. I mean, it's sweet. Check that out. Look at it. It's sweet. All right, boys. Here's what I did. I need to replace this line here, but I replaced this fuel line. It's a little big. Fuel pump is working, and what the fuck is this? I don't know what the hell that is. I blew these lines out, replaced this line into the fuel pump. I need to change this line here. I took the tank off, you guys saw that. Put some wreck fuel in there, so let's hope she keeps going. Alright. Need to fix the muffler. I don't know. Looks like somebody welded it before. I'll probably just go with like a giant piece of black pipe. Like a 2-inch nipple with a 90 on it. Just point it out that way. Maybe put a couple tacks or braze it on there. I don't know yet. So here, we'll start her up. There we go. She runs. Oh, there's fuel coming out. Yikes. Where the hell is that coming from? So, fuel flying out of that pump, so I'm gonna have to rebuild that pump too. Yay. Alright, so I've filled the transmission. There's a little plug here. It's hard to see, but it's just an old pipe thread plug right there. Take that out, fill it up till it's draining out. I tried to spray it off a bit with the pressure washer. So the only real issue we have right now is the fluid coming out of the fuel pump. So everything else seems to be running fairly well. So it's a little loud. Beast. Okay, so I bought a gasket or a diaphragm offline. It said it was for a Kohler, but it looked like it was gonna fit, so that I put in here. I didn't buy the full rebuild kit. The pump worked before, the diaphragm even worked, but it was leaking between here. So if you have that issue, you can pull this bolt here and this bolt here, and you can move it. You don't even have to take this stuff off, just to move this manifold enough. Then there's a 1/4 inch 12-point, two of them right here that hold this fuel pump on, and you can pull the fuel lines off, and you should be able to move this enough to get those bolts off. Take that pump off. There's two here, two on the bottom. Take it apart, and then what I did is found a really flat surface like a piece of glass or metal, use 400 grit sandpaper and do an S pattern with it. I'll see if I have any footage of that until you get both of these sides flat, because that was definitely one of the issues with this thing. These two things were warped from the water or whatever. So, but yeah, that Kohler gasket worked all right. The only thing was the holes weren't in the right spot, so I had to sort of adjust the holes a little bit. But this gasket is made of sort of like a silicone material, so it actually makes a good gasket and diaphragm. So this is the fuel pump. It's old mechanical style fuel pump. Parts are pretty hard to get. There's one place that sells them, but they have the weirdest schedule I've ever heard of, where they're open half the month and then close the other half. But the pump was working. The only problem is it's squirting fuel out of the sides. Like, this is half, then there's another half. The issue is that this surface is not flat. I've cleaned it up quite a bit, but it had major horrible low spots right here and right here. So I got a flat surface here, and I'm just finishing off this side. And then I ordered a new oh god, whatever you want to call it, bellows, or it's probably it's the wrong word, but anyway, it's a bellows basically. There's a spring that goes in here, and then a rubber diaphragm. That's the word I'm looking for. Rubber diaphragm that moves in and out, and that's the pumping action. This rides on the cam, and it moves like this, and that is what pushes the spring and the diaphragm in and out. So I'm going to finish up doing this, and then we'll put it back together and see if it's still leaking. If it is, I'm just going to have to wait for the diaphragm kit. Glass is probably much better if you have it, but I don't really have glass, so. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not super concerned about over there, so hopefully that won't make a big difference. Alright, just gonna put a little seafoam on here. This is Deep Creep, but this stuff, anything like this, fuel injector cleaner, I find actually works good to soak these sorts of parts, and then you can use carb cleaner to get all the crap off. Alright. Clean these off. So we'll clean that off. Always good to have the cigarette in your mouth while you use massive amounts of carb cleaner. Just a tip for you guys. Alright. Sorry boys, I'm just looking here. Oh, it's gonna go on an angle? Is that what's have happened here? Something like that. Apparently this is a major pain in the ass, so there we go. Okay. See if this actually works. There we go. Okay. So this goes down like this. Alright. You can hear the diaphragm in there. So the fuel pump goes right here. You can see the cam gear in there. Maybe. Yeah, you can sort of see it shining right there, that cam gear. That's the fuel pump rides on. So I need to pull this filter off and see if it's standard or if it's some weird kind of filter that I'm going to have to order. So I'm going to drain the oil out of this thing. And I need to take the tires off. I'm going to bring those in and get... I got brand new tires for this thing. In fact, we'll go and get those right now. I'll show you. I got some ag tires for the back of it. And just some new ones for the front. Make sure that they're... I mean, I ordered the right size, but when they're not on the rim, they look so funny. So I'm gonna bring them into Monroe Tire and get them mounted $10 a piece. I cleaned all this stuff off so I could see if there's any leaks, but it looks pretty good actually. So yeah, there's the new tires. The back tires are huge on this thing compared to the front. Now these tires don't look big enough, but I mean, maybe those are right. They look kind of small, to be honest, but isn't that what they are? 16 by 6.5 by 8. 16 by 6.5 by 8. Oh yeah. And here's the D stones. You know, just Chinese. But these are 4-ply tires. I think the old ones were 2-ply, so you can see. I mean, they definitely look shorter, but that's not necessarily an issue with this tractor. You can just adjust the deck. So there's the ag tires. So that thing should look pretty cool. I'm gonna pull the tires off this thing, pull the battery out of it, and go and see if we can find the rest of the parts that we need to finish this sucker. And and an oil change. Alright boys. She's all back together, running good. So I think we're going to bring it back to her today. And I just checked the charging system. It looks like it's working. Get it pretty constant. I don't know, well actually I'm not sure if it's working, but the battery seems to be holding charge fairly well. I mean, I drove it for a while and it was at 12.25, so I'll probably mow the lawn and then check it again and see if it's holding strong around there, and if it is, then I'm just gonna call it good. I'll flip it to float mode and then we'll try it there. I'm in first gear, brakes on the right side, throttle's all the way up. Let's go. Son of a bitch. What the hell? Don't know what happened there. We have to, maybe the charging system's not working in this thing. These are real life problems, unlike YouTube videos where everything is magical and just so happens to work. I bet you the charging system's not working or something. Hey, so I thought I'd keep you guys in the loop. So I had this thing running, seemed quite well, and now it's just not getting enough fuel. I have to leave the choke on in order to be able to idle it up. So I don't know if it's this poo-poo fuel pump gasket or if the issue is that it's just these old fuel lines are plugged all to rat shit. There's definitely still some corrosion in here, and I'm sure it's not helpful. I need to find a fucking service manual for this old thing and see if I can figure out how to make sure it's set up properly. He certainly had it before where the choke plate was at a minimum position that's different than where I have it set up right now. I mean, I have it fully wide open and it does not seem to like that, so okay, let's bring it up. So I'll show you when you throttle up what happens. See? Fuel starvation. And then if I close the choke plate down a bit more, so maybe I need to back the main jet out a little bit. I'm not sure. It runs fine if it's pulling a good vacuum, so seems to me that means the fuel pump is pumping enough fuel to feed the bowl. So I don't think that's the issue. And I've pulled the hoses off the outlet of the fuel pump because there's enough fuel left in the carb you can turn the engine on and run it. And revved it up, and that fuel pump puts out a lot of fuel, so it makes me think it ain't the fuel pump. She's running like a beauty. I drove it around for like half an hour. I was plugging the exhaust port with my exhaust that I built and screwed in there a little bit too far, so decent shots of this old beast running now. Remember, some old man said, they will flip over, ask me how I know. I'm like, oh God. Alright boys, so the only thing left on this, that things that aren't working, oh actually I didn't update you from last time. So I got the thing all back together, I started driving it around the yard, and then it decided to just poop out on me and wouldn't run again. So I added some nicer lines and a fuel filter. I wasn't sure about the pump and stuff, and then I thought to myself, why don't we, maybe it's running out of fuel. So I went ahead and unscrewed the main jet a bit, and it ran really good yesterday for about an hour. I drove it around, mowed the lawn, blah blah blah. I used my crappy Harbor Freight welder to put a bunch of scabby welds on there, and then just kept heating the thing up, hoping it's not gonna all pull apart and break. Oh, and another thing I had done, and this was causing an issue with the thing, was when I had screwed this muffler piece in, I screwed it in too far, and I'm pretty sure it was blocking this exhaust port a little bit. So that was causing it to sort of stutter and couldn't get the crap out of the chamber. So anyway, she's running pretty damn good now. I'm just working on the last little few touches. I'm gonna try and get the headlights working. I got a new switch here. The one that's in it, it's one of those push style ones. It's not working worth a shit, so I'm gonna try and change that up, and then hopefully we'll get the headlights working, and then I might run to Depot and get a piece of acrylic, try and make a new front face cover for it. I cut a new panel for the front of this, but I want to try and get some of this crap cleaned off. So alright, here's my piece of Lexan I put on there. I'm pretty happy with it. Put all the new bulbs, or I didn't put new bulbs in, all the bulbs worked. I had to put a new switch in for the lights. Oops. This starter's kind of going bad, but last thing I gotta do is adjust the clutches. I think they're only supposed to be 20 thousandths. These are the clutches in here. You want to make sure they're clean too, but I'm pretty sure you're supposed to put the transmission in neutral. I believe we adjust them with these nuts here, these great big nuts. So I gotta back these ones off, then tighten the other ones down a little bit. I'm pretty sure it's 20 thousandths. I'll have to look. But here's how that works. When you put the lever into forward, it squeezes that clutch together, as you can see. Now when you go into reverse, there's a clutch on the other side. You see how much closer that one is? That's about right. The other one is way loose. Alright, so here's what you have to do to adjust this clutch right here. See this crack right here? This is what you're adjusting to 20 thousandths. So you break these nuts. There's 3/4. You back them off. Not break them, but there's one here as well. So you just want to back those off till they break loose, and then you can run these. There's nuts on the other side. You run them in, kind of like with a ball joint, or with an outer tie rod end. If you've ever adjusted a tie rod end, it's sort of similar. You got to back the nut off. Now with the tie rod end, you actually have to take the tie rod end out and spin it. But with these, you just run this nut in. But you want to try and keep it even on both sides, you know. And then once we get close, we'll use our feeler gauges to, what the hell was that? That was weird. Anyway, once we get close, we'll use our feeler gauges to make sure we're good. Alright, so I found the manual. Clutch adjustments are 6 to 8 hundredths. So if you're over 8 hundredths, the manual suggests adjusting the clutch, and then 2 hundredths of clutch material is the minimum allowable amount of clutch material available. To be brutally honest with you, I'm not sure if this has any. You can see it's sort of got some tightness to it, but it locks in, and then the reverse locks in. You know, it should have some firmness to it. Mine was totally mushy before the forwards was anyway. Let's tighten that down. See, I just put an inline fuel filter in here, blew out the lines, so we seem to be okay even with the old metal tank, which is good because I don't want to have to retrofit some plastic piece of shit on there. The battery I put in it was from my Cobalt, so a Cobalt size battery seems to fit in these things perfect. It's not like vibration proof, but this thing isn't, I don't believe it's vibrating any more than a car is. At least with the sort of stuff she's gonna do. She's mowing with the thing. Maybe if you're tilling and doing all sorts of other shit. But I have seriously fallen in love with this thing. I don't know. I just love how mechanical it is. I love how all the parts are just black pipe, like 1/2-inch black pipe, you know? It's not fancy, one-off bullshit. The thing's just a beast. And it just feels so solid. And then I think the deck's a 50. And apparently you could get a 60-inch deck for them. One other thing I read in the manual, this is where manuals come in super important when you don't really know what you're looking at precisely. This brake is supposed to kick the transmission out of gear when it's set up properly, which makes sense because it's a transmission brake and it has so much torque it would just push right through this crappy brake. So this brake needs to be adjusted somehow to pull this thing out of gear. I haven't figured out how that works yet. Oh, there we go. Well, would you look at that? It does it once the clutches are. See, and that shoots it back into neutral. Well, that's it, boys. The tractor's running. Happy days. And I even got paid for it, so that's real good. I still got it here at the house. The lady wants me to hang on to it for a while, so I'm gonna enjoy it. So if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, or don't. Told you I don't care. Do what you want. Alright, I'll see you on the next one.
Oh, that's huge. Thought it was a monster fish.
Yeah, it's crazy, eh?
I love it. It's still here, right? Still standing.
And it's got that army green.
They make badass shit.
That was all made out of steel. Yeah, that's like a friggin' full-size bridgie.